Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Oh, happy Sunday, Sean.
Happy
Giants
Sunday.
are resting today. We have our mental focus elsewhere. Unfortunately, my doppelganger, Big Ben, he got caught up with a little bit of the COVID. Interesting to hear from a guy who has, I don't know, how do you put it, Sean? He found himself quarantining quite frequently in the offseason, and now he's going against that.
Will Ben Roethlisberger emerge with an elbow injury after quarantining, Ryan?
You have to know when to come.
Maybe a boo-boo from the shot. I don't know.
All right, let's do it. We are answering your fantasy questions, your gambling questions, coming off a very fun, profitable college football day. We, of course, if you haven't seen the video, Colby and I reacting to our over one Kansas win total lock coming through live. That was a bunch of fun. And yeah, we're going to get to the latest injury news. If you guys want to give us a call on, either throw out some bets, talk a little shit, ask a question, whatever, the lines are open. Just head over to Twitter Spaces at Gambling Podcast and request to speak, and you can hop right in there, and we will get to your calls. So much to get to, Ryan. I will be giving out a money line parlay. I just ran the numbers. I'm seeing it over 10-1, hovering around 11-1, and of course,
this is in addition to where people can already bet with us, correct?
Yes. And if you have the Win betting app, just fire it open, scroll down, and you will see bet with SGP. You can get down on the Falcons money line, parlay with the Raiders money line. Oh my God. Price that at plus 890.
And I didn't really want to bury, I didn't mean to bury it, but coming back to that Texas Kansas game, if there's one thing, if everyone could Twitter at Gambling Podcast, check out the video, because there's a certain DGen tick that you need to check out with Colby. The way that his arms are both stiff with angst, but also flowing freely because he can't stop moving. That was a true DGen moment. We do have to, we'll have to get Colby to follow up with how much money he won on that fabulous occasion.
And then shout out in the YouTube chat to Andrew Rabb, checking in live from Stadium Swim, hanging out. He sent a photo of him and his wife hanging out with Derek.
Hashtag Legends only.
That's gotta go. I mean, no, I don't mean to get into Andrew's personal life, but you're welcome, because I'm sure you got laid after meeting the owner of the CEO and owner of a casino. So.
Yeah, it is a power move. So. All right, what are we going to get to?
Questions. The chat is fired up.
Chat is fired up. We didn't hit on it in DFS, but I did play a lineup with Christian McCaffrey at running back, and then brought it back with Panthers defense. The more I thought about it, the more the idea of like what
little stack there. I like that.
Yeah. And especially the number. I mean, we picked it. I think we got it at 11 on the show, even at 8.5 now, where it seems like it's hovering. I still like the Panthers.
And unlike other shows, we're going to call you a sharp still for following us, even if you didn't get that sweet closing line value like Sean over here.
Well, when we picked the game, we knew Kyler Murray wasn't going to play.
Wait, Kyler's out?
Well, and
we reported this 2 Tuesdays ago.
Yes, and we've been on this for a while. You know that they probably were going to sit him because they had the game with the Seahawks coming up. And speaking of the Seahawks, as expected, Aaron Rodgers, no symptoms. He's going to go. So hopefully you locked in that -3. That seems to be creeping up to maybe 3.5, depending on where you're getting down there. So some late line movement there, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm still surprised. I think I'm surprised with a couple of these numbers, but that being said, I'm excited to watch Russ come back and cook. I don't care anything else. I know Aaron Rodgers becomes a fun DFS play, maybe a little chalky. Is a Russ double stack something we should be getting involved with today? I've been thinking about it all week. Like, how mad am I going to be when Russ goes off with Lockett and Metcalf and I don't have a double stack?
Usually the annoying thing about playing the Seahawks is usually you have to decide either either Lockett or Metcalf. And I have some shares of each in my lineups, but I think playing both of them in a double stack against this Packers defense, I think this Packers Seahawks game could get high scoring. So I got a number of lineups. I got a Matt Ryan lineup. I got a Tannehill lineup.
Oh.
And I had Melvin Ingram in there. I was ahead of the Kamara news as well.
Well, smart,
and we were talking about it on the show. I was hoping that he would be like a game time scratch and it wouldn't catch so much ownership.
Really got screwed a little bit. I feel bad for
the cat's out of the bag on him. So I have a Matt Ryan, a Tannehill, Jalen Hurts, and then a Brady. I mean, even though Godwin looks like he's a go. I think he's in a default or like a decoy role, but Brady, Mike Evans, Tyler Johnson, bringing it back with J.D. McKissick is a pretty fun lineup there. What do you got? Any sort of late DFS stuff you like, Kramer?
Oh well, I figured we could a little bit later in the show. I do have my Big Ben. I gave out Big Ben as my quarterback.
Oh yes,
twice now, back-to-back weeks. I have crippled a starting quarterback. But put him in my DFS lineup. I think maybe I go and evaluate that lineup in a little bit. I'll pull it up here in a second.
Well, and we should repick this game because I think we picked it on when we recorded the NFL Picks podcast at 8. Now I'm seeing the line over at the win is down to 5.5. I mean, for me,
it almost feels.
I was more worried about the Lions getting up for this game and taking down a sleepy Steelers team. But now the fact that Tomlin can really have their ear, fire him up. I like Tomlin as a head coach. When he came out for the taunting rule and said like it was a good rule, it's, dude, come on, shut the fuck up. But that being said, Steelers at -5.5. I actually like that more now because I think they're gonna rally.
It certainly allows the coach to have the chip on the shoulder. No one believes in us. We got to step up for our backup quarterback narrative. And to your point about not liking Tomlin, fall in line with the league. Part of what makes Tomlin, this guy had to coach Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
John, maybe you watch the tone in your mouth when speaking about Mike Tomlin. He knows how to control a locker room. And to your point, I'm a little worried the spread movement isn't quite enough.
Yeah,
but to your point. If the defense steps up that much more, that's really the handicap anyway. We were never. I thought Big Ben could have a big game with Deontay Johnson and Freiermuth. Could that be the same with the way that Rudolph tends to throw the ball? I think you have to watch James Washington, former Oklahoma State receiver, who they had a little college rapport, right? They went to school together. That being said, yeah, I mean we're still on the. I'm not repicking the game. I'll take the shorter spread.
Yeah, no. Jake Paquin checking in saying. Godwin worries me too. Should I start Sutton over Godwin? Yeah, I think you have to.
Godwin's
now Eagles are normally more susceptible to the tight ends over the middle, but Avonte Maddox and Darius Slay both a little nicked up, dealing with some hamstring stuff. It sounds like they're both a go, but you imagine playing at elevation. I could see them a little gassed or just having trouble. So I think. I would take Sutton over Godwin. I mean, Godwin, he barely practiced, which for a wide receiver like Godwin, I think that's a bad sign as far as
they signed Perryman. That's a bad sign. We know Scotty Miller's back. That's a bad sign. Tyler Johnson's been a cute DFS play for some people. So I think there's a lot of reasons to get off Godwin today.
Agreed. PPR help Moss or Drake.
Jesus. I mean, there's a version of today's game where you, especially in DFS, you stack Moss and Carter and hope for the best. Be a little contrarian, but
I'm going Kenyon Drake.
It's so hard to play the Buffalo running backs.
Yeah, and Zach Moss, he was more interesting when Singletary's out. Now Singletary's back, so Moss in a split backfield. I kind of don't like it, but Kenyon Drake in a pass catching role against the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Jacobs' role has been all over the place. I would go Drake actually.
I'll tell you the contrarian case for why you don't play Drake, because the Raiders are going to be the ones controlling the pace.
Yeah.
And this is a Josh Jacobs game.
But why would you be contrarian in season long PPR?
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't know.
Oh, you're saying more just like the counter argument against it.
Yeah, and the Raiders. I mean, quite frankly, if you think the Raiders are going to win, you probably don't want to play Drake.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like taking Zach Moss because this is Josh Allen's just going to want to throw the ball 50 times against this Jets defense.
I mean, the angle for it is they're going to be in the red zone. Maybe you get 2 touchdowns. That would
flex spot: Bolden, Landry, or Emanuel Sanders. Ryan.
Man, I know in DFS Sanders is getting more pricey, but I don't see why you stop playing Sanders.
Yep.
So I'm
going Emanuel Sanders.
I would start
Manny
with Sanders. And if you need to play two, the Brandon Bolden situation gets super interesting there.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry is not a guy I'm looking to take at all. Nick Buckler checking in. Bolden or James Robinson. Robinson is a little banged up. He is going to go.
Tough matchup against the Colts. Again, I mean, when a quarterback says things like "that's my guy," when referring to Brandon Bolden, Mac Jones likes Brandon Bolden. I know Stevenson's up, but you got to expect Bolden's going to be the one getting the pass work. So I would lean that way. Although James Robinson could make us look silly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll the dice and say James Robinson. I just don't want any part of the New England offense today.
You want to take a caller, Sean?
Let's go. What do we got?
All right, we got Mr. Friend of the program, not first time. Let me try to get him on here, Mr. Jong.
Jong, what's up, man?
What a time to be alive, fellas.
What a time to be alive.
Congrats on your Bruins. Nice beating Villanova and then destroyed Colorado.
UCLA never a doubt. And I was in the building for that Colorado comeback, smashing the live bet all third and fourth quarter. What's up, John?
Yeah, I got one today. I'm going with Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm going to take the under 40.5 receiving yards. And here's my angle on this one. His last 3 games, he's caught the ball for one pass for like 60 yards, 57 yards, 42 yards. So he's going against the Patriots today, who I think Bill Belichick will target him. Yes, Donovan Peoples-Jones is the number 2 receiver, but his role is the same. He's really only averaging like 2 or 3 catches a game at 40 yards. If we're fading the long pass, I think he would have to have like 6 catches to get that 40 yards. He's not getting that. I'm fading Donovan Peoples-Jones under 40.5 yards. Let's go.
Let's fucking go, John. Yeah, I like the logic because the old Billy Belichick. That's what he's good at is taking away one thing, and the Browns. He doesn't have to worry about Nick Chubb. And the deep ball. It seems like Donovan Peoples-Jones is his guy for the deep ball. I think they're gonna play around with that, and maybe there is a world where Landry gets a bunch of targets underneath for some short stuff. But it seems like the target distribution is so spread out for this Browns team, and rightly so. I think they get the screen game going. I think the tight ends get involved. So I like the under angle on Donovan Peoples-Jones. Kind of a
well, you just got to hope he doesn't hit that one big pass.
Yeah, that's all you're rooting for, and I don't think Belichick's going to let that happen.
Exactly. Let it ride, fellas.
Let it ride, bro.
Let it ride, Jung.
#Legends only.
Eric Brown saying Quez Watkins ATD anytime touchdown. Let's go. I mean, I've been banging on the Quez Watkins drum for a long time.
Yes, you have.
He's clearly the second best receiver, and the guy gets open deep. They haven't been throwing a ton as far as just like overall targets, but again, is there a chance he gets one? Patrick Surtain is out. That's huge. And looking at the scheme that the Broncos run, as I did more film study during the rest of the week,
like that,
and combined with the injuries, again, homer alert. But I love Jalen Hurts over rushing yards. The way they play, I was on Jordan Howard and Jalen Hurts. And even Dallas Goedert. I think the middle of the field's going to have some opportunities for the Eagles. So really though, Hurts over rushing yards. I really like that prop.
Yeah.
And they've been working like designed runs as well. So I think there's a real chance just off the carries, and his total is pretty reasonable. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's like mid 40s. OG man start 3 of the 4. So basically we just have to destroy one of these people.
Eliminate one.
Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, Deebo Samuel, or Justin Jefferson. Oh man, that's tough.
What is that, 6-team league? What's going on here? Hard to sit Pittman at this point.
Is this a real question, or just this guy trying to brag about how awesome his fantasy team is?
I'm putting Tyreek Hill down.
Wow, you're crazy. I'm putting Deebo Samuel down.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be Pittman for me. And I don't really like the idea of sitting Jefferson in this game. That
not against that Chargers defense.
And so I guess, am I fading Hill, or I guess you're probably right. It's probably safer to fade Samuel. Hope it's an Ayuk game and play Tyreek Hill. But man, that's a good team. Tough to say. You got to trade one of those guys, buddy.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel's. I mean, and he's a little banged up. You saw Ayuk have a pretty decent game last week, so
all right,
that's my angle.
You want to hit back to the callers?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we got from across the pond, Mr. Terrell Furman. Terrell, what kind of delicious player prop parlay do we have for us today? We'll give Terrell a second. The internet, there he is.
Well, here we go.
You there, Terrell?
Let's go. Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
Let's
fellas?
go.
What's up, dude? Good to hear from you.
Let's get us paid.
Hey, look, it's 115 to 1 touchdown parlay this week, guys.
Let's see it. Let's hear
it. I'm gonna hit one of these.
Yes,
and it's gonna be glorious. Today's the day. I'm telling you, today's the day. All right, Zach Moss, anytime touchdown. Jets give up most touchdowns to opposing running backs. Marvin Jones, anytime touchdown. Colts give up most touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. God, Sean Payton just loves Taysom Hill with no Alvin Kamara. He's got to get in the end zone today in the red zone. Let's fade Tampa Bay's DBs. Terry McLaurin, anytime touchdown. I think Washington football team keeps that game close. Hard to believe he doesn't target his guy. And this guy has been slumping through the season. Only 2 touchdowns. He gets a charge team that is bottom of the league in rush DVOA. Dalvin Cook, anytime touchdown.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this up on the screen just to make sure we didn't screw it up. We got Zach Moss, Marvin Jones, Taysom Hill, Terry McLaurin, Dalvin Cook.
115 to 1, guys.
115 to 1.
Let's fucking go.
Hashtag Legends Only.
Love you, Terrell. Take care, man.
Yeah, love y'all too.
Let it ride. Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I think
he cut out.
I think Twitter cut him off. He didn't want to hear from him. Yeah, 115 to 1. It's the kind of bet, Sean. You only need to hit 3 of those a year, and you're breaking even, baby.
No.
Assuming you're betting every day. I'm assuming people bet 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering the math.
It's a good return there.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm in the mood. He's giving out big parlays. Let me give out my first half, Sean.
Let's do it. It's time.
I'll throw it up on the screen. All right, we're gonna go back to just spreads. We're due. New England -1, Colts -6.5, Atlanta +4.5, Pittsburgh -3, and the Deadskins +6. I think maybe Tom Brady gets a slow start there. It's a
baby fucking wheel, man.
All right, Ryan. Should I give out my parlay?
Sure.
I'm gonna do a little computing here.
What's it pay this week?
Let me see here.
Let's start with the price because that's what people really care about.
Okay. I'm going one more in here. Okay. I'm giving it out. Well, it involves buying a half point, and I don't know how to buy a half point. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. So I'll call it plus 1150 officially. Carolina Panthers money line.
Done.
Dog.
Minnesota Vikings +3.5, and then Green Bay Packers money line. That looks to pay 1150. Let's fucking go.
Oh my
All right. So
the more I'm wrapping my head around it, what world is Colt McCoy a 2-score favorite? We see this all the time where the backup has a good game, the first game, and then the second game you're like, oh shit, that's why this guy is a backup. This is why the guy is hanging on in the league. And yeah, that's my angle there. So
do I just play a naked Carolina money line? Then it sounds like. Yeah,
I don't mind that.
You're not at all worried about Cam being in the building.
He really does shift the mojo in a bad way.
I'm gonna wait and see because I saw Cam riding on the cart with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. God knows what they were talking about.
Is Colt McCoy that much better than Colt McCoy that much better than PJ Walker? And I think Matt Rule, if he has a whole week with PJ Walker, to develop some sort of like dink and dunk. I think even Robbie Anderson gets involved a little bit, Ryan, because Robbie Anderson coming back from the grave, Sam Darnold just like locked down with DJ Moore. If PJ Walker can just not turn the ball over, the Panthers were able to move the ball. Plus,
I hear you.
Plus, I think Carolina has legit opportunities to turn over. Yeah, in the same way they turn over Mac Jones a bunch, I think they can turn over this Cardinals offense. And I wouldn't be surprised they put up some points, the defense, and I think that's kind of how they carry the day.
So it sounds like I need to get a little taste.
Yeah, get a little taste. Right, if you don't have it already, get a little taste. We'll get
a little taste.
Little action on the
real time. Let's see. We got lots of questions, Sean. You want to rapid fire through this? Odell Beckham.
Yep.
Or Russell Gage from Christopher Reese on YouTube.
Russell Gage. I don't think I'd be surprised if Odell gets like a full workload.
It annoys me so much that Robert Woods got hurt.
Yeah. I mean,
of all the people to get hurt because of Odell, like fuck you, Odell. This Rams team is going to crater so hard.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyone else want to take that bet?
Yeah.
Do the Rams miss the playoffs?
Now I feel like I should be able to change my pick. Although I guess I probably won't because I hate the 49ers, but Odell bringing his curse mojo to the Rams.
Yeah, I told you to get on that as soon as that trade went down. Get on that Niners pick.
Do not like that at all.
Fading Odell. All right, it is a Mark Ingram a top 10 play this week. Rick Williams wants to know on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean I liked Ingram before the dudes came out of No Kamara. I mean, who do they have as a playmaker? And Mark Ingram has been running hard. I think he gets all the goal line work. I think he's going to get like 80-90% of the running back touches. And Titans defense have had their issues. I still like them as a lock, and I like it even more obviously with no Kamara. I think they're going to be able to load the box, but I think from volume, he's definitely going to be up there. I think the only thing you have to worry about with Ingram is if you're playing DFS, if you're worried about ownership. No. I think it's fine to have either him or Dearness Johnson. Dearness Johnson is going to be the guy that everyone picks up on the Browns because of Chubb and Hunt and Felton all being out. So I think you have to pick your chalk. I think it's okay to have a guy that a lot of people are going to have. Just don't have too many of those. You just have to be contrarian other places.
And I would go Ingram by a mile over Johnson because I just think the Patriots are going to maybe be able to shut that down more likely than the Titans.
I think that's more likely to be just an ugly game. So,
but I think Johnson could have a higher ownership, strangely, because there's no one else there. Collins or in Seattle or Stevenson in New England. I go Stevenson. They like him. It's only a matter of time before he has a big game. I think him and Bolden could both have big games. People want to know Stevenson or AP as well. Would you play an AP Mark Ingram stack in DFS?
That's kind of fun. Yeah. That's kind of fun. And I think AP is friskier this week than he was last week. I think like a full week of practice, a full week of him understanding the playbook. He got some goal line looks. I don't know if you recall. I mean, Tannehill snaked him on that one, vultured his touchdown, which again, I am playing a Tannehill AJ Brown stack, staring right down the Lattimore lineup. It's going to get 0% ownership, and you have a guy who's going to get a shit ton of targets at home. That's kind of my angle. Low ownership, and I think there's a massive ceiling there considering all the expected targets AJ Brown should get. But AP is an interesting play as well. I mean, Chris Collinsworth kind of called him out, saying like his pad level is high. This isn't normally like him. I think a week of practice, a week of him like remembering what it's like waking in the NFL. I think this could be AP's best fantasy week. I think like this week, maybe next couple weeks, and then the reality of that is bodies back in the NFL fall apart.
We've all seen the science fiction movies. It takes a little bit for the alien DNA to get acclimated with the new world. Once he gets there, AP still one of the all timers. All right, what else do we have?
Jim McCauley saying, "I'm looking at Broncos and your Eagles over today." Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're getting the number at, I'm not a massive totals guy, but I would definitely go over. Both teams have some injuries on the defense, and I think that could lend itself to a higher game script. Last I saw it was like 44. But yeah, I would definitely, gun to my head, I'm going over in that game. I don't see it being too ugly. I think there's going to be opportunities for both offenses get some points there.
All right, Eric Brown wants to know Marvin Jones or Marquez Callway.
Ooh,
You like Marvin Jones? I think I like Marvin Jones this week.
yeah. I always like Marvin Jones. I mean, especially in that game script, it seems like Marvin Jones. I mean, you got to like Marvin Jones and Dan Arnold. With the James Robinson news, he's obviously a little banged up. I still think he gets involved, but you can't help but wonder, is that going to mean some more targets for Marvin Jones or Dan Arnold? I know he's kind of become a little chalky play, but if the Colts get out to a big lead, which is certainly possible, and the Jaguars are trying to throw to get back into the game, certainly some garbage touchdowns to be had there.
Just tough. Dan Arnold is living a tough life. His first initial and his last name creates the last name of Sam Darnold, and that's nowhere anyone needs to be.
No one wants to be that.
CJ pointing out that the Cards also a little bit of letdown spot after they had a big divisional win last week.
Massive letdown spot.
Justin Smith wants to know Van Jefferson or TY Hilton. Oh man, you're telling me this is the Van Jefferson game. You want a game where Van Jefferson's got to show out. The team likes him by all accounts. I don't know if you read the story when Odell was FaceTiming with Jalen Ramsey before he signed. I guess there's no tampering in the NFL. I'm only kidding. It's just Odell making fun of him. But apparently Jalen Ramsey brought his phone into the wide receiver room, Sean, and said, "You guys gonna have a problem if Odell shows up?"
Yeah.
And then Robert Woods tears his ACL. How does that happen?
It's not unrelated.
Van Jefferson goes off. I'm taking.
And T.Y. Hilton, I didn't even know he was playing. Honestly, like he has 6 catches this year. He has been just hurt. There's
he's going to have a game with 2 touchdowns.
Maybe, but it'll have to come against the Texans. That's
the difference is
his get up spot.
In the past, he was the guy. So when he came back, he'd have these big games. And Pittman has obviously usurped him as the guy.
Malachi 1476 start Tampa defense or Dallas defense.
That is a disgusting.
Come on, Tampa Bay against this Washington offensive line.
What shows do you think he's watching?
Come on, I shouldn't have even answered that. George Brandt wants to know Ty Johnson or Jordan Howard. I guess I would say it depends on full point PPR because it doesn't seem like Jordan Howard might get a couple catches. I mean, I think Jordan Howard's a fun GPP play, just because the amount of touches he gets, period, and goal line touches he gets. But if you're looking for a safer floor, I think Ty Johnson could be your guy.
All right, and of course, Sean, we are live on Twitch too. Shout out to all the Twitch nerds out there. Do Bills struggle this week like last week?
Oh yeah, I mean,
feels like it's a relevant question. We haven't really talked about it. We like the Jets at home, of course.
Mike White, the Mike White hype is real. Like Mike White clearly has the respect of his teammates.
The confidence they played with at home. Only 3 games, small sample size. They lost to the Patriots very early in the year with Zach Wilson before they found out that Mike White thought he was a first rounder. Mike White takes the job.
Not first rounder, first overall.
First overall pick. I'm sorry, Sean. And quite frankly, even with Zach Wilson, they are 2-1 at home against the spread. Those 2 are wins outright against the Titans and the Bengals, 2 of the better teams in the conference. And now they get a divisional rival coming in here. I know the narrative is Josh Allen's going to get right, but that's been the narrative for Patrick Mahomes for a couple weeks in a row now. So yeah, I think the Jets show up, and I do think the Bills struggle a little bit. Not enough to have the cojones to put it in my first half parlay though.
Yeah, no, I'm on the Bill or Jets.
All right.
Hopefully you can get try and find a 13 if you're getting down on that.
Any parting words for the audience, Sean? It's 9:31. Some of us have to reconstruct some DFS lineups.
Oh yeah, give us your what are you doing with Big Ben? Are you blowing it up completely or are you just swapping out what I mean, you got to switch your stack. Come on, let the people know what you're going to do, Kramer.
Well, as per usual, I feel obligated to get a Rudolph situation in there because how do I not play Rudolph? How do I not just in case?
Is it like the same price?
He's 4,100.
Oh my God, really?
Oh my God!
That feels pretty good, right?
I mean, I would do a Mason Rudolph, Deontay Johnson, Freiermuth double.
Done with
come
DeAndre
back
Swift.
with DeAndre Swift. Yeah,
I got Mike Evans and McLaurin as a mini game stack.
That's fun.
And then I'm kind of pivoting here late. I'm going to be really contrarian. We're going to play the Falcons defense with Cordell Patterson, and then we have 4,900 for the flex spot, Sean. And as I stare at that 4,900. I see Corey Davis. Corey Davis is the play. He's gonna have a big game this week. Low ownership. He's back. Yeah, Jets gonna have to pass the ball.
Do you go Corey Davis or Elijah Moore?
Corey Davis.
Okay. All right. And make sure you guys tune in to the live post game show after the night game wraps up. Give us a follow on Twitter at Gambling Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Brian, I woke up singing the point spread song, having a feeling it's going to be a good day.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Let's win some money today, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.